Amplify Our Voices is a docuseries highlighting a collective group of entrepreneurial journeys of Black-owned businesses. In these colorful and raw dialogues, each business uniquely details their individual challenges, lessons, and triumphs of navigating their respective ventures. A Necessary Film seized an opportunity to execute authentically within our own niche by amplifying the voices of our own. Our goal in this series is to promote our peers in the most genuine and intentional manner. Amplify strives to not solely just support Black and brown businesses, but to share their stories in our own way. In many cases, Black entrepreneurs establish businesses to act as agents of change within their own communities. Founder and owner Alicia White created her nonprofit organization, Project Petals, out of a desire to revitalize and develop underserved communities.
So my organization initially just started as me wanting to improve the environmental space in my own community. So it just initially started as this one project in this one space and helping a senior in my community clean up this space. And from then it moved to me trying to figure out who owned the space and connecting with city agencies and senators and council people to really be able to get the funding and the resources that we need to improve the space within my community. From then that moved on to other people in New York City who came out to volunteer within my community saying, hey, we also have an environmental space, for example, in Brooklyn, or we have an environmental space in the Bronx. So I kind of branched out from that one project into creating my own nonprofit organization. I had worked in nonprofit organizations for 6 or 7 years before starting my own, but starting your own organization as a Black woman wasn't as easy as working for someone else. So I pretty much had to figure out how to do everything. Like I needed a website, I had to create a website. I needed a logo, I had to create a logo. And I needed to file the paperwork for my 501c3. So these are all the things that basically I had to learn to do to be able to create my organization.
Making any space beautiful takes effort, but Jamaica Queens native Alicia White is willing to do the work.
There we go. We broke it.
Alicia and volunteers with her organization, Project Petals, have been working for 3 years to make this park a place people want to visit. It's right next to a stop on the Long Island Railroad, and it's a place people walk through every day.
They were used as dumping grounds or dumping places, so it wasn't a place that the community could really use or engage in the space at all.
And this park was the first step in a journey to transform the way people from her neighborhood see their hometown.
When I would go to the city, I would see how beautiful it looks, how beautiful Central Park is, how beautiful Bryant Park is, and all the programs and activities, but I would come back to Jamaica Queens and just saw a lack of all those things. And so I think part of the young person in me still wants to see those things, and that's why I started Project Petals.
When I first started my organization, I definitely didn't have a blueprint for how I wanted my organization to be, and I didn't really have an example of any other environmental organization that I saw in my community growing up in Jamaica Queens. So I definitely wanted to be able to create a blueprint so that other community leaders, environmental leaders throughout New York City had something to go off on when they wanted to create environmental spaces within their communities or improve environmental spaces as well. Our community leaders in our communities know what the environmental issues are in their communities, but we need more awareness and letting city agencies know and letting the city know, hey, we're here, our community needs resources, our community needs to improve our environment. So what we do is we connect community leaders with volunteers, for example, from all over the city who maybe have never visited their neighborhoods before. We connect them with resources, and that could look like physical tools to complete a project, as well as the actual funding and planning that they need to complete a project as well. In addition to providing them with any education, we have learning gardens all over New York City where people can learn to grow their own fruit, learn to grow their own vegetables, and especially with something like we're in the middle of a pandemic right now, has definitely came in handy with a lot of the communities that we work with.
I found out about the Honda Heroes program online, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to nominate Alicia. I wanted to nominate Alicia and the work that she does with Project Petals because she's just such a selfless person. Her organization is really a one-man show, and she works around the clock to, provide these neighborhoods with the things that they need. And I wanted to provide something to her, to encourage her. And, I was just so hopeful that she would be chosen.
To be a Honda Hero to me is just an amazing feeling. It means that my work is being recognized and being appreciated. Hi, my name is Alicia White.
One thing I'm really proud of is our educational program, which is our Project Petals Youth Builders program. And we work with young people in junior high school and high school to connect them with architects, engineers, urban planners, and designers to kind of reimagine and re-envision their environments and where they're from. And also connect them with mentors. So if they want to pursue these professions at college level, they have those connections to be able to do so. So a lot of our youth take on environmental projects, but it's two parts. We really want them to start thinking about their future in the hopes that, right, they go through our program, they become architects, they become engineers, they become urban planners, and they come back to really use that knowledge and skill set to improve their communities and their environments for the better.
She is the president and founder of Project Petals, which focuses on revitalizing underserved, low-income, and under-resourced communities. There she is on the floor, and right now she joins me in the studio. Hi, everybody. I'm Rebecca Harlow. Congratulations on your award. Tell us about the organization.
Thank you so much. Project Petals is an environmental advocacy and community development organization. We work primarily in under-resourced areas. I started the organization in Jamaica, Queens to give back to the community that I grew up in. And from there we moved to Brooklyn, to Harlem, and we even have a project going on in Uganda right now. We currently launched a new program called the Project Petals Youth Builders Program, which helps young people with leadership skills and helps them to reimagine their communities and where they're from.
Now, I know you're a Knicks fan, and you want Knicks fans to get involved. How can they help?
Yes, Knicks fans can log on to projectpetals.org and click on volunteer and sign up to volunteer with us and come out for community days and help us with plantings and environmental projects as well.
The goals have changed so much from when I first started. So when I first started, it was just this one project that I wanted to complete. And now we have projects all over the city. And I do see that expanding to other parts of the US as well. I've gotten requests from anywhere from New Jersey to Illinois to Georgia. So it's definitely something that I want to do in the future as we get more funding, as we get more resources, be able to really connect with more Black and Brown communities, more communities that are under-resourced, so we can, build better environments within our communities. Like as climate change is happening right now, Black, Brown, and under-resourced communities were always the first, right, to see any impacts of climate change or any impacts of poor environmental conditions. So yeah, it is my dream, it's my goal, it's my passion to be able to branch out and to grow into other parts of the US and to build a model or a blueprint, if you will, to be able to help other community leaders and other communities and environmental leaders to be able to do the same.
I really want to learn from you because I feel like, sometimes we look at things that we would like to change, but you actually went ahead, figured it out, changed it, and then continued the work on and on and on. So I feel like we have a lot to learn from you.
Thank you so much. The only thing I could say is everything starts with one small step. Sometimes we don't think that one small action will have a ripple effect, but doing one small thing like helping a neighbor or helping clean up environmental space can help improve communities and help improve our environment. So just one small thing at a time.
The most important part of my organization is to be able to work in the communities that we work in and to be able to work with the community leaders that we work in and really to elevate their work and let other people see what it is that they're doing. Because a lot of people don't understand there's an issue sometimes unless they can actually see it, right? And so what our work actually does is bringing people who should be responsible, people at the city level, to these communities and letting them see what it is that they're lacking, so then we can start to build equity within these communities. do because I love the environment. I do what I do because I love my community, and I do what I do because I love my people. And so I combine all those three things, and that's the driving force behind my work, is to take communities like the community that I grew up in and making sure that we have the same resources, that we have the same opportunities, and we have the same ability to grow just like everyone else. So I think that's the driving force behind what I do.